NetsBoy, so let's hear what he has to say. His name is NetsBoy, he thinks the world is all over when the Nets just can't play. What up, Net fans? NetsBoy here, bring your latest in your Brooklyn Nets news. Okay, so the Nets went 2-5 the last 7 games with wins over the Nuggets and Lakers. That's great. But they really should have gone 4-3. The game against the Magic, they had the Magic right where they want them, but they just couldn't execute down the stretch, and they lost, and that was frustrating because I feel like they really could have won that game. And the game against the 76ers, that one was really tough, because I don't know if you remember, but in my last video, I talked about how there's 4 teams that I feel are worse than the Nets: the Mavericks, the Suns, the Pelicans, and the 76ers. And when the Nets play those 4 teams, they have to beat them. And they just lost the 76ers, which is just like, look, the 76ers have some potential. You know, Embiid is good. You know, Okafor is good. But they didn't even have Ben Simmons because he's been out. Like, they just shouldn't have lost that game. Like, the Nets are like 1-13 on the road. I don't know what's going on with them. They need to figure out how to play out of the Barclays Center because they're not going to be they're not a good team. They're not. They're definitely a bottom 5 team. But if they want to try to get a little bit more respect, they need to start stringing some wins together. I don't know what happened there. They need to start stringing some wins together and get a little bit of respect. You know, I don't think the Nets have not won back-to-back games yet this year, and they have 7 wins. They have 7 wins. They're 7-20, but you know they need to start playing more consistently. The good news is Jeremy Lin is back, and he's looked a little rusty, but he's getting it going. I think it's just a matter of a couple more games before Lin becomes that 18-7 type player that he's been before his injury. But now Whitehead has some kind of foot injury. Hopefully he doesn't miss a lot of time. So the Nets still don't have both their 2 point guards that they want to have. But, you know, the real issues with this Nets team is consistency and execution. They still can't play defense, which they've been doing a bit better, but they still can't play defense. So they still got to work on that. But they need some front court help. They really do. Like, Brook Lopez and Trevor Booker are great, but Anthony Bennett, Justin Hamilton, Luis Scola, they're all fine players. But I think they're like 3rd-string rotational players at best. You know what I mean? Players who play when there's injuries to the front court. You know, those guys I don't think should really be in the rotation. You know, Scola, he's solid, but at this point of his career, he should be a 3rd-string player. Anthony Bennett, he's looked good at times, but he's very inconsistent. And I think there's a reason why he's been on his 4th NBA team in 3 years or something like that. And then Justin Hamilton, like, I see why he left the NBA and played overseas. Like, he really can just shoot threes. He can't do anything else. He can't get rebounds well. He's not a good defensive player. He's not overly athletic. And I think once the defense learned, hey, wait, this guy just shoots threes, they closed out on him, and now he's struggling. So I see why he left the NBA. So he's, to me, a 3rd-string type of player as well. So the Nets need some front court help. And I don't know where they're going to go and get it. I don't know. Maybe they should go 1-800-CALL Chris McCullough. 1-800-CALL Chris McCullough. I think that's way too many digits. But that's still 1-800-CALL Chris McCullough. Why isn't Chris McCullough on this team? Why are they letting him rot in the D League when he's playing well? He's averaging like 17-8, something like that in the D League. Call this guy up and play him in the front court. Stop. Like, let's see this guy. We saw Isaiah Whitehead. We see how solid he's been. We're seeing LeVert right now. We're seeing that he's got a lot of potential. We saw Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. We're seeing him now. Why not bring up Chris McCullough? Why not bring him up and let him play? He's got more of a future on this team than anybody else in the front court. So why not give this guy a chance? I don't get it. Let him play. Maybe he can help solidify their front court because their front court is weak. Once Lopez and Booker are out of the game, they immediately get dominated on the boards. They immediately get dominated in the post. They don't have any shot blockers. Let's see Chris McCullough. It just frustrates me, you know. This guy, they drafted him last year. They wanted to kind of stash him because he had the ACL injury. They said he has lottery talent. They think that he could be a really great, solid rotational player in this league, and they don't play him. Like, how is this guy going to really get any better unless he plays in the NBA now? Like, why is he playing in the D League? He's not somebody. Yeah, his game needs to develop, but let's see him play. Just frustrates me. You know, just like the 76er game frustrated me because that was a game they should have won and they should have beat the Magic. Just a lot of frustration with this team. I mean, they're getting there, though. They look better. They do look better. Their defense has played better. With Lin being back, the team's going to be better. But they have to start stringing consistent wins together. They have not yet won back-to-back games yet. And they need to start because, like I said, they're currently tied with the worst record in the NBA. Well, with the least amount of wins in the NBA. They're 7-20. Both the Mavericks and the 76ers are 7-21. But still, either way, they need to start stringing some wins together. They need to start playing more consistently. And, you know, that's really it. I like what I've seen from LeVert. I think has a bright future. He's got to get a little bit comfortable. Joe Harris, I absolutely love. I think he's been phenomenal. And I know that I talked about when he was first signed, I was like, who the hell is Joe Harris? Who cares about this guy? But I've been pleasantly surprised with how good he's been. He really reminds me of Kyle Korver. He really does. The way he can come off the screen, hit the three ball. He's not quite as good at it as Korver, but I see a very similarity in their style of play. He might be better better than Korver. Korver. It's been a long day for me. Just know that. He might be better than him at driving to the basket and finishing. And but I'll be honest, I get really mad when Harris doesn't shoot and puts the ball on the floor and drives to the basket. Even if he scores, I'm just like, come on, shoot the ball. You're such a good three shooter. But, whatever. He's played well. Lopez has played well. Booker's played well. Whitehead's played well. But then, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson has had ups and downs. Bogdanovich has ups and downs. Kilpatrick, he's still played pretty well. He's kind of tapered off a little bit after he had that 38-point explosion against the Clippers. But, he's still solid. This Nets team would be solid if they could just get a little bit more front court help. Just a little bit more. But, we'll see what happens moving forward. Overall, I'm pleased. I don't want to say pleased, but I'm content with what I've seen from this Nets team. Going 2-5. Like I said, I wish they could have. I wanted them to go at least 3-4, and they should have gone at least 4-3. But I'll take 2-5 at this point. They just have to. They're right on the cusp of getting to where I think they should be, which rarely ever happens. Because so far, I've been very disappointed in the Nets over these last 3 or 4 years of NetsBoy. And I'm not really disappointed. I'm not ecstatic, but I'm like, okay, I see the way this Nets team is. This is kind of what I expected. To be 7-20 at this point of the season, that's better than I think a lot of people expected. So I'm happy with it. Moving forward, though, let's look at the next few games with this team. Golden State Warriors Thursday, disastrous loss. Cleveland Cavaliers, disastrous loss. But then they got Charlotte. Charlotte has been a pleasantly decent team this year. But that's, to me, I think that's a game the Nets could steal. But I'm still going to say that's a loss. Then against the Bulls, that's a game as well they could try to steal. Probably be a loss. Then they got the Wizards. They should have beat the Wizards last time they played them. That's a very winnable game. Then they got the Jazz after that. The Jazz have looked great. Honestly, these next few games, they might only win one game moving forward. So, but who knows? With Lin back, maybe they can get some consistency in a rotation as long as Whitehead, isn't out for a while with that foot injury. Who knows? Maybe Nets can steal a couple wins. Anything that's better than one win the next 5 or 6 games, I'll be happy about. That's why you have to beat teams like the 76ers. That's why you have to win games like against the Magic. Because when you look at the way the schedule's coming up, you got the Warriors and then you got the Cavs, and they just played the Raptors yesterday. You're going to lose to those teams 99, I won't say 99, 9 out of 10 times you're going to lose to those teams. So when you play teams like the 76ers, you've got to win. Damn. I hate it when the Nets lose to teams that I feel they're better than. I really do. I really hate it. But it's the NBA. It happens. Look, I'm sure Clipper fans felt the same way when the Nets beat the Clippers. Like, how the hell did we just lose to the Nets? Like, so I get it, but just, you just got to play better. So anything better than one win moving forward, I'll be really pleased with. But, they need some front court help, and they got to get Chris McCullough out. They got to play this guy. They got to call him up from the D League and play this guy. And who the hell is Spencer Dinwiddie? Who the hell is that? I'm not even going to go into that. He's apparently played well in the D League as well, but are you kidding me? The Nets cut Yogi Ferrell for this guy. And look, he's looked fine. He's played well. I don't have anything against the guy. I just never freaking heard of him. So, look, I didn't really hear Joe Harris. And Joe Harris, I'm ecstatic about him. So, and like I said, Spencer Dinwiddie hasn't played poorly yet. He's looked pretty decent. But, maybe he'll be like another Harris. And I'll be happy with him, the Nets having him the next couple games. I don't know. I just personally thought that Yogi Ferrell played pretty well. I'm a little upset that Yogi got cut, but nature of the business. Anyway, we'll see what happens moving forward. Let me know how you guys feel about the Nets at this point with Lynn coming back and this upcoming few games. If you think they're going to go 1-6 like I do, or 1-7, or they're going to try to turn it around, or what you think the Nets should do to try to improve their front court. Because, right now the only solution is play Chris McCullough. You're not going to try to make any trades at this point, so that's what you got to do. So we'll see what happens moving forward. Keep your eyes open for the latest NetsBoy. And until then, this is NetsBoy. Tell the Nets to play Chris McCullough. I'm signing off.